The comprehensive disaster management drill was conducted by the Tokyo Metropolitan Government, Chuo Ward and Koto Ward on August 31, 2008. The drill took place in Tokyo with Harumi Pier and Kiba Park as the main venues. The theme of the drill was responsiveness and collaboration in the event of disasters. The drill was held in an effort to establish the self-help mutual aid system, to improve disaster management capabilities of organizations for disasters, and to ensure smooth collaboration with support from overseas. This is the outline of the drill. The drill was held with the scenario of a strong earthquake occurring with an epicenter north of Tokyo Bay on August 31, 2008, causing major damage, such as the shutdown of lifelines. The MPD and the TFD immediately initiated rescue and relief efforts. In addition, the TMG requested the dispatch of the JSDF. The headquarters for disaster control held a teleconference attended by the governor of Tokyo, Shintaro Ishihara, the mayor of Chuo, Yoshihide Yada, and the mayor of Koto, Takaaki Yamazaki, to ensure information is shared. The footage of the disaster assistance team from Shizuoka arriving at the Haneda airport by the JASDF aircraft was broadcast via satellite.
都の各局は迅速に対応し、被災者の救出・救護・安全の確保に全力で取り組んでいただきたい。また、各防災機関には最善を尽くすように要請いたします。
The JGSDF promptly deployed each unit to areas affected by the disaster to collect information on the disaster status and engage in rescue and relief activities. The JGSDF unit also arrived at a cleaning plant newly designated as a base for the rescue team in March 2008. Yokota Air Base was used as a relay point for the Interprefectural Emergency Rescue Unit from the Miyagi Prefectural Police, with the cooperation of the USFJ. The unit shifted to the Harumi venue, which was affected by the quake. The drill was implemented in Ginza, which consists of numerous commercial buildings, to see if it could handle large-scale disasters. This is footage of the rescue team from the MPD rescuing victims from the rooftop of a building. The TFD used a ladder truck to rescue people from a fire in the high-rise building. This is when the JGSDF rescued people from Ginza subway station. In a huge earthquake, lots of people would be locked inside elevators. In the station building Atre at JR Kameido Station, the MPD, Atre, and an elevator management company held a drill to rescue people from a locked elevator. At the Harumi venue, the main venue in Chuo Ward, the Bureau of Construction removed obstacles on the road. The TFD unit then rescued victims inside the collapsed house. A drill to receive overseas support teams was also performed. Rescue teams from Seoul and Taipei, both members of ANMC 21, took part in the drill. It's the first time in history two foreign cities took part in the same drill. At the Harumi venue, each rescue unit performs the drill in cooperation with the TFD. They also received cooperation from rescue dogs of the Japan Rescue Association and the Emergency Fire Response Team from Shizuoka, which came from Haneda. In the meantime, the Interprefectural Emergency Rescue Unit from the Miyagi Prefectural Police, who arrived at the Harumi venue via Yokota Air Base, undertook a joint rescue drill with the JGSDF. Generally, subways are said to receive little damage from an earthquake. The Toei Oedo line runs below the ground of Kiba Park, the main venue in Koto Ward. The JGSDF moved by the subway and came up to the venue through the underground garage. Training was implemented to mobilize units through the river on the assumption that roads were blocked. As the units arrived, they began a rescue drill in cooperation with the TFD. The theme of the drill is responsiveness and collaboration. Here at the Kiba Park venue, the TFD, JGSDF, and JASDF held a joint rescue drill. On Kasaibashi Street, the Bureau of Construction and Koto Ward jointly held a drill to remove obstacles on the road to ensure passage of emergency vehicles. The Interprefectural Emergency Rescue Unit from the Shizuoka Prefectural Police joined the drill to rescue people from vehicles which were involved in an accident. Also, a drill was held to rescue victims from an accident that happened on the expressway. Kiba Park Bridge was used as a mock expressway. When an earthquake strikes, damage occurs not only on the ground but also on the sea. At the Harumi venue, the MPD held a drill to rescue people from a house that had been swept away. The TFD implemented a water rescue on the assumption that an earthquake caused the bridge to collapse. The JCG's patrol boat, Izu, which is equipped with medical facilities, took part in a drill in Tokyo for the first time. The TFD's helicopter landed on the boat and transferred the victims to medical facilities in collaboration with the JCG. A large-scale medical activity training was held at the Harumi venue. A triage was carried out in an area where there are lots of victims to fully utilize limited medical staff and supplies in order to transfer the injured to medical facilities. A medical support drill was held at the same time to transfer those who needed medical attention to facilities on the patrol boat. The Akasaka Press Center has a heliport, which is quite rare in downtown Tokyo. A drill was held to transfer the injured with cooperation from the US Army stationed in Japan. In November of 2008, the TMG signed an agreement with the US Army in Japan to use the heliport in the Akasaka Press Center in case of emergencies. This will enable Tokyo to use the heliport to perform medical transports over a wide area in the event of disasters. Each disaster prevention institution transfers the rescued victims to medical facilities through various methods such as air and ground transport. Here, the injured from Kiba Park are being transferred to the Tokyo Metropolitan Police Hospital. In the Ginza area, The injured were transferred to St. Luke's International Hospital by vehicles from the JGSDF's hygiene unit. When a huge earthquake strikes, a halted lifeline will be a major issue. A lifeline recovery drill was carried out in venues including the Harumi venue and Kiba Park venue by lifeline operators. Here, NTT East is carrying out the recovery drill. The Bureau of Sewerage implemented a drill to recover the sewage pipe. The Tokyo Electric Power Company was dispatched to transmit electricity by power generation cranes, on the assumption that an emergency hospital suffered an outage. The repair unit from Tokyo Gas held a training session to repair the damaged gas pipe. The Bureau of Waterworks held a drill to repair a leaking water pipe, using repair tools. When an earthquake occurs, 37 routes which are designated as emergency routes will be closed to normal vehicles. Only emergency vehicles, as well as vehicles with emergency vehicle marks, are permitted to run on the emergency routes. Vehicles from the Tokyo Trucking Association, which were provided with emergency vehicle marks to transport relief supplies to disaster-stricken areas, headed towards Harumi Sogo High School, the supply collection point. Joint disaster drills by 8 districts were held at the same time. For the first time, sea transportation of relief supplies by vessels from the JMSDF, as well as ground transportation, were carried out. Relief supplies from Chiba Prefecture and Chiba City arrived at Aomi Wharf. These supplies were transported to Harumi Sogo High School. Relief supplies were collected at Harumi Sogo High School. Volunteers, including high school students, sorted these supplies, which were then sent to the disaster-stricken areas. At Yokota Air Base, relief supplies from local governments around bases were then transported to Chuo Ward and Koto Ward to ensure mutual support among local governments. In this drill, there was also training implemented in collaboration with the Ginza Earthquake Management Committee. First aid and fire extinguishing drills were held by an autonomous disaster prevention organization. A directing drill for stranded people was held on the assumption that an earthquake caused disruptions to public transportation, stranding numerous shoppers. Here, the Ginza Earthquake Management Committee is taking over the stranded people at Tsukiyabashi Park and sorting them out according to which direction they go. The TMG directed the stranded people from Tsukiyabashi Park to the Akashicho boat landing area in the Sumida River. Those heading for Saitama, Chiba, and Kanagawa were transported safely by Yakatabune and ships, respectively. At Aomi Wharf, those heading for Chiba boarded ships from the JMSDF, and those headed for Kanagawa boarded vessels from the JCG to find their way home. Also, the assault ship Essex from the U.S. Navy's Sasebo base joined the drill. The stranded people gathered at Kasai Kaihin Park to be transported by LCAC hovercraft, and a helicopter carried on board the Essex. The SX has great medical facilities, including 6 operation rooms, 14 ICUs, and an inpatients ward. Governor Ishihara, who inspected the medical facilities on board the SX, emphasized the importance of support by ships in case of disasters, stating, "I feel very reassured." The first thing you need when an earthquake strikes is self-help and mutual aid. This drill provided a training opportunity for local people and organizations. Here, the Volunteer Fire Corps and the TFD are spraying water all at once to prevent fire from spreading. At the Kiba Park venue, the Bureau of Construction and local high school students are having a drill to make and pile up sandbags. Sign language translation services were provided by local volunteers. Also, local organizations, the Japanese Red Cross Society, and the JGSDF held a joint drill to distribute meals as a support activity. A noodle manufacturing cooperative association from Koto Ward held a drill to distribute cold noodles. The Tokyo Metropolitan Park Association, as well as high school volunteers, performed a drill to distribute meals at hearth benches. Drinking water is essential when an earthquake strikes. The Bureau of Waterworks undertook water supplying training sessions at each venue. Exhibitions regarding disaster prevention and experience programs were also provided. Fear the worst. The best will save itself. These opportunities offer you a chance to experience how to respond in the event of a disaster, such as applying first aid or making an emergency phone call, which will come in handy when the disaster actually happens.
何が覚えてますか？マンションです。わかりました。これだけでそうマシますから。はい。これでも丈夫なんで。ちょっとも切れないよ。いいねいいね。3分経ちますとですね、何も異常がなければ、このランプが消えまして。
When an earthquake causes many casualties, autopsies, post-mortem examinations, and identifications will be required. The wards, medical associations, the MPD, and the Bureau of Social Welfare and Public Health jointly provided a drill to provide such training, which was inspected by Governor Ishihara. The governor and the mayors commented on the drill. 必ずこれが一旦緊急の時に大きな成果をもたらすということを信じてですね、来年もまた再来年も同じ努力をしていただきたい。それが実は自分のためであり、町のためであり、家族のためであり、国家のためであるということをお互いに肝に入れてですね、この試みを繰り返していきたいと思います。一番肝心なこと、それは我が命は我が手で守るんである。我が町は私たちで守るんである。そうした意識であります。今後とも皆様と力を合わせて災害に強い町を作り上げる決意でございますので、どうか今後ともよろしくお願い申し上げます。みんなで安心安全なこの東京を築くために、みんなと一緒に力を合わせて頑張りたいと思います。本日は皆さん暑い中ご苦労様でございました。The TMG has always been conducting an emergency drill with cooperation from the MPD, TFD, JSDF, related companies, and local people. Thanks to the participation and cooperation of the citizens of Tokyo, mainly those from Chuo Ward, Koto Ward, and the 8 districts, as well as the Japanese government and all related organizations, we were able to finish this drill successfully. there is a 70% probability that a huge earthquake will strike Tokyo within the next 30 years. To prepare for this, the TMG and disaster prevention organizations provide disaster drills to improve responsiveness and strengthen collaboration among self-help, mutual aid, and public health. The TMG will continue to provide practical drills, believing it will hugely contribute to strengthening all disaster control measures.